Nickelodeon. Hey peeps, guess what? It's Daria. We have another review. And this review is going to be a little fun and lighthearted. It's Wonder Park. D, play my music.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go. Let's all go. Let's all go to the.
Such a woman, those come hither tusks. Splendiferous! Now buckle up! I am nobody's pincushion. Nailed it.
You guys did block the wheels, right?
Oh, that's what this is for.
Nice birdie.
Gus, Cooper!
Well, that didn't work.
Nope. At least we got dinner.
I've sat through my fair share of Nickelodeon movies in theaters, on VHS. You remember those little orange VHS cassettes that they used to have?
Yeah.
When they had their Nickelodeon movies?
Yeah.
I've sat through my fair share of them, and they have been largely a mixed bag. I mean, Rugrats in Paris, loved it. Chucky freaking made me cry. Then you had Snow Day.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, you had movies like Snow Day, which was just like straight to VHS. And it wasn't worth your time, or it was straight to VHS quality, and it wasn't really worth your time. Nickelodeon comes to the big screens once more with Wonder Park, and I didn't hate it.
It's a mixed bag.
I didn't hate it.
It's a mixed bag.
Wonder Park is about a young girl. I keep on forgetting her name, even though I have it pulled up. Give me 1 second. I'm going to be there.
Why do I want to say Riley?
Because you're thinking of Inside Out.
Oh, right.
you're thinking of Inside Out.
Right.
No, her name was June.
Oh, right, Jim.
Yeah, her name was June. Her and her mom create this fantastical, magical park in their imaginations and in their bedrooms, and it's all nice and bright and shiny, but apparently the park actually exists out there in the wild.
In her imagination.
In her imagination, yes. Yeah. In her imagination, it exists out there in the wild. Her mother gets sick, which kudos for not just offing her, because Disney would have just been brutal with that shit. And I don't know if I could have handled this movie if they went that route. But she gets sick. Yeah. And she has to go away. And that forces June to put all of her imagination and all this fun stuff up and just sits within herself and sits in her darkness.
Okay, you don't have to go that deep.
I mean, that's what happened. This movie got surprisingly freaking dark.
It did, and that's just because it kind of made her grow up quickly.
Yeah, like they're dealing with some deep issues here, and like I, as a 32-year-old dude, is sitting here looking at this like, I don't know if I can handle this movie. I don't know if this is something that I want to watch right now.
Yeah.
Because holy crap, it was getting really dark, but they actually did a good job. They did a good job keeping everything as light as they could, given the subject matter.
Yeah, okay, although it didn't pull on my emotions, I'm pretty sure it pulls on the kids' emotions. But yeah, they tried to get you there. Even as an adult, they did try to get you there.
They really tried to punch you in the chest.
Yeah, they did. And I'm going to say they closely did an adequate job to that.
Closely did an adequate job. I'll take it. Whatever. Yeah. I'll take it. You know what? There's really not a lot to say about this movie because there is a lot, but it's not like let's not.
The reason you say that is because we have to remember that this was made for kids.
Which I think it. Okay.
So it wasn't made for us. So what we're taking out of it is not the content that they necessarily put out.
I am not going to. I'm not going to dispute that, but I am going to put a caveat on that. But before we do all of that, let's jump into the good. What did you find good about this movie?
Oh, good. I like that this little girl was smart. She loved math, science. She was like a little genius.
Yeah.
And I like appreciate because it was fun. It was fun. And I liked it.
Yeah.
I even liked the little math song that they had. Like, that was even genius.
Oh, I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It was like the pie song.
Oh, 3.1415.
Yeah.
And it is just Pi Day. Pi Day was yesterday.
Pi Day was yesterday, yes.
So yeah, that fits. That fits. Okay, that fits the motif. I did like that the secondary characters. They could have easily went the wrong way with the supposed love interest. What was the name? Bunky,
I think.
Bunky, even though I think it's spelled B-A-N.
Yes. Also,
whatever. But Bunky. Yeah.
Also, they have a lot of ethnic characters in this cartoon.
A lot of people of Indian descent in this, and I actually kind of like that because I'm like, okay, I don't see too many of these characters, and it didn't
and they
like
weren't
play
racist
on
about it. No,
yeah, they didn't play on stereotypes.
No,
so I
did
did
not.
like the makeup of the characters. I did like that the one who had a crush on her. They could have easily just pulled the whole. It's like, oh, he doesn't know when to say no, when to take no for an answer, or he's just like too aggressive, or they play the friend zone trope, and some of these shows, some of these movies definitely do that.
Yeah.
Even with kids, they play it hard. But this one, it was just like, okay, yeah, he's into her, but like there's boundaries, and I like that. I actually kind of enjoyed their back and forth because like he's infatuated with her, and she wants to spend time with him, but they let them live in that relationship without like playing it up too much, or without there being any actual like character chemistry between them. Of course, I do love me some John Oliver.
Oh yeah,
he was fun. He was fun.
He was very fun.
He provided the majority of the laughs. In this, and his comedic timing is on point. So kudos to John Oliver. I love you there. The character designs were good. It was very colorful, which is what I like. I like to see color in my movie. I like to see a lot of drab colors and just like have it be monochrome.
Even the dark period still had color.
Yeah, it was a lot of color in this. So it was like a lot of that.
Red and purple undertones.
Yeah, it really pulls you in. Yeah. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the relationship between the mother and the father. Like all of that was good. Yeah. And it was fun, it was nice, and it was wholesome.
The bad.
Now let's hit it with the bad.
I knew you were going there.
We have to go with the bad. This movie feels long. And there is so many lulls in here where things just don't hit that it's really hard to stay in it.
Yeah.
Like even during the climax where there's a lot happening on screen, it just, what it is this movie has no weight to it. Despite the subject matter, it feels like it has no weight and no actual punch in it. Yeah. And I don't know what they could have done to fix it. It just doesn't. It just doesn't hit the mark the way that, some of these movies kind of do. Because like Disney hits it up perfect. We saw a movie not similar in theme to this, but similar in just our expectations in Smallfoot. In 2018, where like those beats hit perfectly.
Oh yeah,
they knew how to pull you in. Like not once during that movie did I feel bored or was I like keep it moving. This one, like even with stuff happening on screen, it just didn't feel authentic. I think that's what it is. To me, it didn't feel authentic.
Yeah, I agree there. It didn't. Like I said, it did. It gave you your climaxes, and then it gave you your enemy, I'm going to say, and the enemy was mom being sick.
Yeah, like it was a situation. Yeah. It wasn't even like an actual person.
Right, and they had to give
situation
an enemy.
They had to deal with.
Yeah, and they gave an enemy, and that was the enemy, and that was actually a good enemy. I just think they could have carried that maybe a little bit further.
Yeah, like it's hard to figure out what
because certain parts, you're right, it did pick up and then it kind of lulled off and then it picks up again. But by the time it picks up again, it had lulled off for so long that it's hard to like, oh yeah, well, get him. And it's like, okay, well.
I think that's what it is. Like, this movie just isn't authentic. It just doesn't feel the way it definitely wants you to feel.
Yeah.
And we're struggling to find out what it is that just is missing. And it feels like there's like a soul missing here. Because like when it got to like the very end of the movie, that should have been a tearjerker move.
It should actually, when everything happened, it should have been a tearjerker.
Yeah, like that should have been like the crowning achievement. Like
Yeah,
you gonna cry on this. But it was like, nah, I feel nothing.
Yeah, it kind of wasn't. But then again, like I said, this wasn't made for us. It was made for kids, so it did its job.
Now, that's where I'm going to slightly dispute you.
Why?
I'm not disagreeing that it was made for kids, but there needs to be, and this has always been my philosophy when it comes to kids movies, just because it's a kids movie or an animated movie doesn't mean that you can scrimp on the things that you would do for adults.
That's true.
Because we've watched our fair share of kids movies. Like hell, we still love some of our animated films, but like they still had something not just for the kids, but something that was universal.
Well, yeah, okay.
And you can't. On the one hand, I fully agree. It's like you're going to be lenient on it because it is marketed towards kids, but at the same time, you have to have high standards, even for the kids.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And this is right in the line of just like mediocre. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It just existed. Nobody will remember anything about this movie.
Yeah, I have to agree. Within
the next month. Like I still remember some of the jump scares from Captive State. We did that yesterday.
Yeah.
Even though I gave that movie like a 1, and I was like, okay, I can still remember it because it left a mark somewhere. Maybe in its badness, maybe in its missed opportunity, but it left a mark somewhere. We saw the movie. We got out of the theaters, and as I'm driving away, I'm already forgetting everything. Yeah. Like I remember John Oliver's laughs.
Yeah.
But like everything else, if I didn't re-look up on IMDb, we stayed until the credits actually started rolling.
Yeah.
If I didn't go on IMDb, I would have forgot everybody who was in this movie. It just existed. And I think that's where I'm giving it the most problems, because like there was some good in here. There really was some good in here. But I feel like I'm saying this a lot. This feels more like a TV pilot than it is like an actual good movie. Like this should have been something that was on Nickelodeon for a couple of seasons, dealing with her imagination and the fantastical creatures that she created in this park that she goes to every so often.
Well, I'm gonna have to disagree. I think they had a good idea when they came up with that concept.
No, I'm saying it's good.
I don't think it necessarily needed to go to TV.
I just don't think it was a good movie. I think they just
could have did more with the movie.
Okay.
I just think they could have did just a little bit more, made it a little bit. If your philosophy is, although it's for kids, have high standards, they probably could have went deeper into, I'm going to say it again, the enemy, because I don't want to give the movie away, but I'm going to say they could have delved deeper into the enemy.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that because that's what kids deal with nowadays. So it's not something we need to be fragile about. It's something that exists today in the real world. So if you're going to put it in the cartoon, go ahead and pull it all out there. Don't
it feels like they dance around it a little bit. Yeah.
Don't dance around it, because kids
they
deal with that today.
They dealt too much with
like
innuendo.
Let's dance around. Yeah, it was like, let's dance around this. Yeah, this is going on. I got to do this. No, get into it. This is what's happening. This is what's going on.
It's funny that you mistook the main character June for Riley. I think her name was Riley in Inside Out, because like so Inside Out was spectacular dealing with these issues.
That's
even though it was from a kid's perspective, even though it was marketed towards kids.
It didn't dance around. It delved into it. They were moving. This is what you deal with when you move.
You're dealing with your puberty. You're dealing with changing emotions.
Yeah.
All of that is hitting. And like this one is just like, you are dealing with your mom being sick. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You have to grow up a little bit more. And it just kind of just went okay,
Yeah, they just
we're at an
could've-
amusement park.
Yeah,
And
they could have just delved deeper into that. It could have been more, here's what happens with your imagination when that happens. Like, it could have just progressed a little differently than how it did.
This really wanted to be a new age neo Alice in Wonderland. Like the name of the park was Wonderland.
Right.
So like this really wanted to be
Wonder Park.
No, the name of the movie was Wonder Park. The name of the park was Wonderland.
No, it said Wonder Park.
No, Wonderland.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Because I could have sworn it said
it's
Wonder
called
Park.
Wonderland.
I thought it said Wonder Park.
Because I sat here and I got that parallel. I was like, real quick. Like, this wanted to be an Alice in Wonderland, and it really had remnants of it, but it didn't have the weight.
Yeah,
there is no weight to this, and therefore there's no pop to the punches that it wants to give you.
Yeah,
and it just ends up being kind of flat. This is a flat movie. It's not a bad movie.
No,
this is a flat movie. Like, hey, if you know what. I got nothing more because like the more I get into it, the more I'm just going to be like saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So let's just run head first into the scores. Since you're trying to push me to do the scores first now.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why you trying to mess up rotation. I don't know why you're trying to mess up rotation right now.
It's not messing up
It's
rotation.
always been you and then me. You and then me.
Oh, get over yourself.
You and then
What's
me.
the score?
Okay, whatever. I don't know if I'm being generous with this score. But I'm going to explain it. I give it a 3.
Okay.
I give it a 3.
Why are you explaining the 3?
It's middle of the road. It's not bad. It's inoffensive, but it also won't excite anybody. I would give it a 2, but I think like a 2 would have been just a little bit too harsh because I'm saying like if you got the kids and you want to go see a matinee and you got the money, go ahead and take them in. I'm not going to say don't do this, don't support this movie or anything like that. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying just wait for it on DVD just to be mean. But like, yeah, a 3. It's the middle of the road. It's a nothing movie that won't hurt your feelings. It won't hurt your pocket. Go see it if you want to. Otherwise, just let this one pass by. Whatever. Your turn.
Okay. I give it a 3.
Okay.
I give it a 3 because I understand who they were marketing towards. And if you want to be honest, they did that. They hit their target market. They knew who they were going for and they went for it. And that's where it was. So that's why I give it a 3.
Okay. The kids in the theater weren't like, fidgeting and hating.
No, they enjoyed it. It was enjoyable. They enjoyed it.
Yeah, they seemed like they were enjoying it. I'm just glad they didn't go with Neverland because that already is problematic a name enough. Jesus Christ.
What?
You ain't even paying attention to the Michael Jackson story? You know what? I'm just gonna move on. It's gonna move on. My joke didn't land just like this movie didn't land. Whatever. Had no punch.
Yeah, because I don't understand what that has to do with anything.
I was trying. Wow. Okay. I already done deflated the joke, and you're just gonna keep whatever. Anyway.
Yes.
Anyway, before we sign off though, we have to get all somber.
No, why? For what?
Pause. Our hearts do go out to the victims and the families at Christchurch, New Zealand. It was a horrendous, terrible act. An act of hatred, an act of Islamophobia, and...
It's not okay.
It's not okay.
That's not okay. And
our hearts are out to you. So hold each other safe, hold each other warm, be kind, and we'll catch y'all later.